Good day, students, and welcome to my class. I am your teacher, Mr. Jamal Sibilia, and we will going to discuss about the physical characteristics of Asia. So, to begin with the discussion, I just want to ask if you guys have any idea about this topic. If you do have, that's a good thing for you. But if you also don't have, well, I'm going to teach it for you. So let's proceed. So when we say physical characteristics of Asia, it basically talks about its landforms and bodies of water. We can also include here its climate. Let's proceed. So to proceed with, I made here an activity for our engagement. So basically it says here, you will going to identify what is in the picture. So you're just going to name a picture that I will going to present. So first pictures, and you can put your answers in the comment section. So the first picture here is, what is that? That is a mountain ranges. Second, that is a plateau. Third, that is a lake. And lastly, that's a river. As you can see here, all the picture represent landforms and bodies of water. So let's proceed. So our discussion will mainly focus on Asia. So what is Asia? So Asia is the largest continent here on Earth, and it covers about 30% of the land Earth's area. So as you can see here in the picture, the green one there represents Asia, and it has a roughly 60% of the total population, which the largest contributor, which is China and India. Now we're going to proceed on its landforms. So first we have here mountain ranges. So these are rows of mountains formed from the folded layers of the Earth's crust, and it serves as boundaries of many countries, and their height and location affect climatic and weather conditions. It is also a great source for minerals, but it also serves as barriers to transportation and migration. So here are some of the examples of mountain ranges that are famous that you can find here in Asia. First, we have the Himalayas mountain range. So it covers more than 236,000 square miles, passing through northern India and making much of Nepal and Bhutan. You can also find here the tallest mountain on Earth, which is the Mount Everest. Next, we have the Tian Shan mountain ranges that stretches for about 1,500 miles between Kyrgyzstan and China. Next, we have here the Ural Mountains. So the Ural Mountains runs for about 1,550 miles in a north-south line from Russia to Kazakhstan. And next, we have here the plateaus. So it is a high-level form but not as high as mountain. So its peak is ideal for farming and animal raising. Here are the examples of plateaus that you can find in Asia. First, we have the Iranian Plateau, which cover more than 1.4 million square miles, covering most of Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Next, we have the Deccan Plateau, which has an average elevation of about 2,000 feet. And third, we have the Tibetan Plateau, which is the largest and highest area ever to exist in the history of Earth. It covers an area about half of the size of the United States. So you can just imagine that it covers half of the size of the United States. And we all know the United States is a large country. So it's so cool and surprising. So it has an average more than 6,400 above sea level. Third is we have here plains, steppes, and deserts. So first we have plains. It is a vast tract of level lands, and plains could be formed by water and wind erosion, glaciation, drying up of lakes, sediment deposits, and the rising of the continental shelf. And steppes is found in central part of Asia, and it has a fertile soil. Because of it has a fertile soil, it is good for agriculture and irrigation. Anything something to do with plants. So last we have a desert. So it is characterized by a very dry climate with little rainfall. So usually deserts have no vegetation at all because of its hot and dry climate. It is like a sea of sands. So now, here are some of the examples of plains, steppes, and deserts that you can find in Asia. First, we have the West Siberian Plain that extended from north to south about 1,500 miles, and from west to east, it's about 1,200 miles. Second, we have the Chernozem Steppes, which located in Russia, and it covers an area of about 80 million hectares. And the soil here is good for farming because it is fertile. Next, we have the Arab Alkali Desert that covers an area larger than France. Oh, see? The desert is larger than a country, and it stretches across Saudi Arabia, Oman, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen in the Middle East. It is just so cool to know these things, right? Right. Now we're now proceeding to the bodies of water. So in the bodies of water, we're going to categorize it into two. First, we have the fresh water, and second, we have the salt water. So fresh water is water that contains only minimal quantities of dissolved salts, which distinguish him from salt water. So what does fresh water do? So it provides water for drinking, hydropower, irrigation, cooling, and cleaning. It also good for products as foods, plants, wildlife, and minerals, and services such as recreation, waste purification, transportation, and aesthetics. So lake and river are some of the bodies of waters that contain fresh water. So here are some of the lakes and rivers that you can find in Asia. First, we have the Lake Baikal. So located in Russia, it is the deepest lake in the world, and it's reaching a depth of 5,315 feet. And the lake contains 20% of the world's unfrozen freshwater, and it is also served as the world's oldest lake at 25 billion years old. So it is so very old. Next, we have the Yangtze River. So it is the longest river in Asia and the third longest river in the world. So the first one is the Nile River, which can be located in Egypt. And Yangtze River is reaching about 3,915 miles inland. Next, we have the Euphrates and Tigris River, begin in the highlands of eastern Turkey and flow through Syria and Iraq before emptying into the Persian Gulf. So the land between the two rivers was known as Mesopotamia. It is known as Mesopotamia before because it is where here the first civilization appeared, which is the Mesopotamian civilization. Yes. Now we're proceeding to salt water. So salt water is a water with a high amount of salt in it, and it often means the water from the seas and ocean. And salt water usually the earth is covered mostly of salt water, and the use of salt water used for thermoelectric power plant cooling. So here are the examples of salt waters, bodies of waters that is salt water here in Asia. First, we have the Persian Gulf, and it has an area of more than 90,000 square miles, and the seabed contains about half of the world oil reserves. And next, we have the Bay of Bengal, which is the largest bay in the world, and it covers about 839,000 square miles and borders Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar. Many large rivers into the bay forming the largest delta in the world. Now we're proceeding now to climate. So what is climate? So climate is a region with particular weather patterns or conditions. Let's proceed. So here are the different parts of Asia and its climate. So in the peninsulas and islands in the south and in the southeast of the continents, it have a tropical wet climate. And in the South Asia, along with eastern China and neighboring areas, it has a tropical monsoon climate. And in the Middle East, it has a hot desert climate. And in Central Asia, it has a rain shadow area and has extreme climate conditions. And in the far north, which is in Siberia, in Russia, basically, it has a freezing climate in winter. So That's all for our discussion. And for our assessment, you can you will going to pick one landforms or bodies of water and give your insight on how it affects your life. You can put in your answers in the comment section or you can send it into my email. It is presented in the presentation. So that's all for my discussion, and I hope you guys listen and understood what have I been discussed. And thank you for listening. Thank you.